Kind of alluded to in a previous YouTube video, this will be the last major Monster Hunter update, and it's kind of bittersweet. I think the game had some significant performance issues, which drove a lot of people away. If you go back to my very first content of Monster Hunter Wilds, talking through the beta at the time, back then, this was before even the PlayStation 5 Pro was released, how bad the performance of the game was. And we were all kind of nervous and thinking, oh, maybe something's not right here. And obviously, as time went on, we found that that was the case. And there were a lot of issues with Monster Hunter. But I think the game has done pretty well. I have stick playing it exclusively on PlayStation 5 Pro. So while I do sympathize with my PC brethren, my take has always been from the console perspective. And for the most part, honestly, the consoles run pretty well. It did start to get this weird hitching, which I believe has been fixed in this latest update. I've been playing now for, I don't know, I played this new event maybe 5 or 6 hours now. I haven't noticed the hitching yet. So I feel like the performance that they talked about on their blog that updated the GPU utilization has actually taken effect on both PC and on console. Anyways, welcome to the new event. This is the new seasonal event. It's kind of like a New Year's type celebration with lots of crystals and vibrancy and fireworks and that kind of stuff. And it's actually really, really cool. I wanted to show you around the hub really quick and then show some of the cool new things that you could start grinding through. As with all of the new events, they are offering some new meals, which is really cool. Right now, it's the Lumenheim Ceremonial Platter, which gives you a massive 70-minute buff of health, stamina, attack, defense, elemental resistance. It also comes with the Insurance Meal, which is amazing, especially if you are struggling on the new event boss, or if you are still working through Omega Planates. Insurance Meal is going to give you an extra knock, which is really, really nice. You're going to get a 4th cart. So keep that in mind if you're struggling. You can pick those up right now with the vouchers. Vouchers you're going to earn, as with all the other events, by completing the daily quests that you have. If you're not sure what they are, you can run over to my man over here, Mr. Mondi, and he's going to hook you up and kind of show you the latest bounties that you can pick up there. They're usually pretty simple. So grind through some of those, knock those out, get those vouchers. You can go craft those meals to take on some of the tougher challenges in this game. I will say, I do like it actually, but it is definitely very vibrant. It is like an explosion of colors, so much so that you can't even really see through most of the map in the way that you used to be able to do before, which is kind of funny. As with all of the new events, of course, we're going to have the old Gemma dress up. This is like Cleavage Gemma with some kind of interesting cat, sort of bestial type of main outfit. Obviously, prominently displaying her cleavage, which unfortunately Monster Hunter just can't seem to get over how well endowed they've made her. So, of course, they're going to put her front and center with that, which is kind of humorous, but whatever. I will not be buying this skin. I still prefer the bathing suit one better. I think it looks more normal, but to each their own. But inside of the new things you can get with some of the new armor sets coming out, which I'm pretty interested in right now, is the, let's scroll down here and I'll show you. We got the ceremonial armor, which let's go ahead and do a little dress up so you can take a look and see what that looks like. Both the kind of male and female variant, I think, look awesome. Again, lots of emphasis on glitter and crystals and luminescence. You can actually even prominently see stars on the cape on the back, which I think is a really, really cool look. It looks very royal and majestic, like a king of some sort. The other variant is also pretty cool too. A lot of times I seem to gravitate more towards one or the other, but this is a rare instance, I think, where I actually want to earn both of them and then kind of mix and match between the two. So I'm excited to work through that. And then they also added the Orion Alpha armor set, which is interesting. I think it is kind of like a heavy-duty, kind of winter-esque look. But what I like about it is that it's very slim. If you look at some of the other armors in the game, they're very majestic and flowing and large. If you've watched some of my Omega Planates content, you've seen me rocking my armor set that I call the Beast, which is like full Arcveld armor. And it is massive. It is very puffy and fluffy and vibrant. And here it's very lean and mean. You can actually see your character's shoulders and arms for once, which I think there's some really cool things you can do with this set of armor. So I'm excited to work through that. It's going to take a while, though. And then lastly, the big thing that they added is the new bowling events. We'll go ahead and check that out quickly. Fun little way to kind of earn stuff in between hunts and to work through some of the other, I'd say, more valuable items that you need. So let's go ahead and check that out together. Let me climb up over here and say hello to my good friend Rolly. So we'll go ahead and do a quick roll. I think I have enough vouchers to play. And we'll go ahead and do this together. We'll check it out. So what I like about this one right now is that the barrel bombs have changed into some Woodwoods. I'm not the best at this. Where do you want to roll this thing at? I'll just throw right down the middle. Who cares? Here we go. But like the last one too, it's just a lot of bouncing. I kind of struggle with some of the RNG on this, honestly. Obviously, you want to hit the big things in the back. That's kind of where the money points are. You know, like the big shots, so to speak. But I don't know. I think I like that they're doing fun, different things. But to me, I think I'm more of like a traditionalist in terms of just like the regular barrel bowling. I think makes a little more sense to me because I feel like I don't always get the right bounce that I want. But anyways, it's a fun way. You're going to get tickets for everything, your daily logins, your lucky vouchers, all that wonderful stuff. So go ahead and pick that up, and then you'll get some nice things. You'll get a really funny barrel bomb that's actually a Woodwood barrel bomb. It seems like every event they always do a bomb that's themed towards something, which is nice. And then you're going to get some other stuff that is probably useful for you. Obviously, the higher score you get, the better the stuff you're going to get, which is fine. Overall, I think this event is actually really cool, and it's a fun kind of send-off. As far as I can tell, Monster Hunter is not going to be doing new events. They may be recycling some of the old events, but I don't believe we're going to get any more major hubs. It seems to me like they are kind of semi-sunsetting this game. I'm curious to see if when the new events, as the new content patches come out in terms of performance and in terms of making the game run a little bit more smoothly, I'm curious to see if that potentially draws some players back, and then maybe they change it. Recall Ubisoft did this very infamously years ago with the Division 2, where they announced that they were working on Division 3, and then they were working on that new game. They canceled it, went back to the Division 2, and then continued to release title updates after a pretty long hiatus. So it's not uncommon to see one of these updates, basically work its way out and, maybe work its way back in. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But ultimately, I think it's cool. Again, a little bittersweet for me. I'll probably be wrapping up some Monster Hunter Wilds content after this. I do want to work through both of the new fights. And I'll talk through those later with a different video. I just wanted to do a Quest Hub video for today and just kind of show off some of the stuff you can expect to see. The last question before I wrap up today's video is, if you're somebody who has been a lurker in Monster Hunter, knowing it's a quote-unquote maintenance game or a dead game, question is it worth investing time to get into now? And while I'm always going to say yes, because this was my game of the year, I'm well over 175 hours now with this, and I have at least another, I'd say, 50 hours of hard content to work through, refining my skills and grinding and that sort of thing. I would say it's a maybe at this point, and I'd say that only because if you don't have friends to play with, the player base will start to trickle off, unfortunately, as new games come out next year, and as the kind of chase for some of the end game content starts to fade off. Now, if they do reinvigorate the game with some sort of DLC, or if they do decide to kind of add in some new stuff again and to make some more challenges, then yeah, I would probably change that opinion. But I think the ship has sailed, I think, on the initial hype for this game, polarizing as it was or was not, depending on what side of, the Monster Hunter series you find yourself in. You may find that actually Monster Hunter World, or Rise actually, has gained a lot of momentum recently, and a lot of people are actually going through and now playing that again, which is interesting to see on the Steam charts as people kind of go back, what is old is once new again. But to me, this is the game. It runs phenomenally well on PlayStation 5 Pro. It is a ton of fun. The single-player content will keep you well engaged for at least 50 hours, and then the endgame stuff really is limitless depending on what kind of weapons you want to upgrade and how challenging you want to make things, especially with the inclusion of the support hunters. And that's where I'll actually wrap up this video as I get ready to go on my next massive hunt, working through some of the more endgame stuff. But just to quickly show you, let me click on this one. You can see they have actually added some new support hunters. Of course, my main man, my best friend on the whole planet, Fabius, returns for us during the event. He is a seasonal character. He will fade away, but we do have Griffin, Nightmist, and Nadia now as permanent hunters joining the fray. And you can see there at the bottom, they have each kind of a specialization. So pick hunters that support your particular play style to help you defeat these monsters. And it's I honestly don't play anytime now without support hunters. I know that support hunters do buff the monster and they do make it a little more challenging, but I find the buffs that they give you are significantly greater than what you can get from your Palico. But that's just me. Anyways, that'll wrap up today's short and sweet video on Monster Hunter's new event. I will post some videos later, probably next weekend, talking through some of the new fights, some of the mechanics I've learned, and to give you guys some tips and pointers because this endgame content is incredibly challenging. Omega Planates stumped me for a significant amount of time. I was one of the last people I know of kind of the old guard to actually beat this guy. It took me a while, but I did put together, I felt, some good strategies for everyone. And I will do the same here for you. Just give me some time. Please be patient. And check back in if you're interested in this kind of content. But that'll wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please take care of yourselves. Have a awesome holiday season. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.